Oh, they up the ante with this one, with slow motion martial arts, motorcycle chases, and doves. Mission Impossible 2, released in 2000 and is directed by John Woo, who has also directed such films like Hard Boiled, Broken Arrow, Face Off, Wind Talkers, Paycheck, and Reign of Assassins. And this movie, of course, is starring Tom Cruise. You can't have a Mission Impossible film without him. Thondwi Newton, Richard Ruxborough, John Poulson, Brendan Gleeson, Ray Sherbedgia, Ving Rhames, and the man who was almost our Wolverine from the X-Men franchise, Dougray Scott. Can you imagine anyone else other than Hugh Jackman being Wolverine in the X-Men franchise? Yeah, well, it was almost this guy. It was very close. A deadly virus by the name of Chimera has been created and is looking to be stolen by a former IMF operative so that he can sell it and make a whole lot of money. And the only one in the world who can stop him is Ethan Hunt, who's really busy with rock climbing and walking in slow motion in this movie, but he enlists his team to go after the virus himself and to put an end to Sean Ambrose before he does any more wrongdoing in the world. But then he also needs to bring in the ex of Sean Ambrose, who Ethan Hunt falls in love with because she's actually very pretty in this movie and she's actually kind of a badass. But she needs to infiltrate his lair and act like she wants him so that they can get more information on what they're doing or where the virus is so that they can go get the virus for themselves. And then it just becomes all chaos. Becomes crazy. Mission Impossible 2 is typically hailed as the worst of the Mission Impossible franchise, and I would probably say the same thing, but just because it's the worst of the franchise doesn't mean it's a terrible movie. This is not. It's just very strange when you look at the entire franchise of what this franchise became. This is definitely the black sheep of this entire family. It's stylized. It's definitely a movie directed by John Woo, and you know that because there are a ton of doves in this movie, plus slow motion like crazy, and that is supposed to tell us like love and emotions and things. It's everywhere. This movie, I feel, is like 4 hours. It could have easily been, an hour 10. But just so many slow motion scenes of someone staring at someone longingly, or seeing some type of sexual chemistry being created by walking in slow motion. I will say though, the sexual chemistry between our two leads in this movie is off the chain. Like, holy crap, I hope you guys explored that part of your lives consensually, either during the shooting of this movie or afterwards, because, man, there is something there. This movie definitely upped the ante when it came to the action sequences that we got from the original Mission Impossible film. This guy's fighting all the time, and he knows martial arts like crazy. It became straight up a martial arts film in many points. The whole final hand-to-hand combat scene with Ethan Hunt and Sean Ambrose in the sand, with the gun in the sand, and then the knife coming so close to his pupil, but him being so disciplined to not flinch and to just build up his strength so that he can move the knife to the side. Ho, martial arts. And then we get a first glimpse of Tom Cruise and his awesome motorcycle riding abilities that we get to see many times in this franchise, but this was really the first time that we saw it. But the big criticism I have, and I had this back in 2000 when I went to the theater to watch this movie, is thinking that, gosh, they have so many masks on them, on their person, at all times. Like every other scene, someone is taking off a mask, or someone is talking to someone else, and it's not them. They take off the mask, and it's another person, and they have a little voice sticker thing that they rip off so that they sound like them, which is actually pretty intelligent, that makes sense, but gosh, everyone has frickin' masks in this movie. I do like that they remedied that in Mission Impossible 3, where they actually brought the mask-making kit with them, and you can see the mask being made. Here, it's like they had them all pre-made, and they had them like in their back pocket, and they just put it on like they're Spider-Man or something. This movie at this time was just proving that Tom Cruise is on this trajectory to becoming a major motion picture star. One of the last movie stars that we have living today. Nowadays, a film studio looks at the branding opportunities in marketing their movies. So if you belong to Marvel, if you belong to DC, if you're a Disney movie. And there's some directors now that you market around them. Oh, this is the next film from Steven Spielberg, or this is the next film from Christopher Nolan, or Quentin Tarantino. You don't really have many films that are marketed around a movie starring someone, and that's gonna put butts in the seats. Really, nowadays, it's Tom Cruise and Dwayne Johnson. Really, those are the two major movie stars. But Tom Cruise is the most consistent out of all of them. Whenever you slap his name on something now, it's a major hit, and it's a major profitable film for a movie studio. And this is one of those movies that just aided him along his path to proving that to film studios. Mission Impossible 2 is a very stylized film, and if you don't like this style, then you're not gonna like this movie. It takes its time, it slows itself down. There's a lot of situations in here where it's asking a lot of you, like it's asking a lot of you to just go along with it, and you go like, really? That's happening? Okay, I don't believe it. Which again, I think that aided into Tom Cruise turning this franchise into what it is, with him actually doing a crazy-ass stunt. Whereas in here, I think a lot of people were like, okay, this is kind of cheesy. Or I can tell that that's a CGI green screen in the background in some cases. You don't get that sense in the later Mission Impossible films. But Mission Impossible 2, I enjoy it. It's not the best by far, but it's still an enjoyable film. There's a lot of great action in here. There's a lot of great sexual chemistry in here. If you like seeing that bloom between two people, then this is the movie for you. I'm gonna give Mission Impossible 2 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
So guys, have you seen Mission Impossible 2? What did you think about it? What is your ranking of all the Mission Impossible films? If you've seen the new one by now, great. What did you think of that? Where does it fall in your ranking? Whatever you thought, comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you all the next time I'm releasing the next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.